Hey, so the US government just sold 10,000 Bitcoin and they have 200,000 more to potentially sell right behind it. All right, so this information comes from WhaleWire. This account has about a 500,000 followers. And this was retweeted and commented on by people that I do find trustworthy and believable. So while I have not done my own 100% due diligence, like going through the transaction data, etc., I have reason to believe that this is somewhat credible. Let's get into this. It says the U.S. government just sold roughly 10,000 Bitcoin worth 277 million at the time, causing prices to plunge. Then this next sentence is kind of a little bit fear porny, but I'm still going to read it. They still own over 200,000 Bitcoin. If they decide to sell that, prices would be under $10,000 in a heartbeat. Yeah, okay, maybe. Here's what's interesting. They do provide this transaction data. I assume this most recent transaction was today just because of the 19-minute, but you can see it shows that money moved, Bitcoin rather, moved from the Silk Road account to this exchange account, and it was 9.8 thousand Bitcoin, so 9,819 Bitcoin, worth around the time about $277 million. Now, here's what's fascinating too to me is you don't, even though somebody moves Bitcoin to an exchange, you don't actually know if they're selling, right? Like this is a well documented thing that whales will do when they're playing their little sneaky whale games is they'll take a lot of Bitcoin, they'll move it to an exchange, all the markets panic, and it actually helps them get into their position they wanted. So for example, if they knew Bitcoin was about to make another leg up, what if they just simply moved Bitcoin rather onto an exchange, triggering all these alerts and stuff, and people just panic close their positions. They panic close and sell off, and you see the market kind of do this dip, and the next thing you know, it makes like a giant leg up. So you never really know. But I will show you what I think is interesting and why I think it's credible that this 10,000 Bitcoin was actually sold off. So if we look at the chart, we can see that price in about 15 minutes went from 28,200 all the way down to 26,700, let's say. And this happened across multiple exchanges. It's not isolated to just one. So let's just start with that. One thing we can do is actually look at order books. So we can look at order books thanks to CoinGlass. And over here, there's an order book and then USDT, spot, etc. So what I have pulled up right here is Tether, and I'm going to change it to $100 increments. And you can see that, hey, if you wanted to shove price down, and you were globally selling off your Bitcoin, like if you distributed your Bitcoin across the multiple exchanges, because as you can see, this order book is stacked with Binance and BitMEX and OKX and Bybit. It's a bunch of them. But it would take roughly, according to this number, right around 10,000 Bitcoin to get it down to 26,500 or 26,600. And what do we get down to? 26,700. Yeah. So that kind of checks the box of, well, is it reasonable to suspect about 10,000 Bitcoin were just sold off? Well, yeah, because already the order books have recovered in a particular way. And even up here at 27,800, we're still only 10,000 Bitcoin away roughly to get down to this level. Add to that all the margin cascade, the sell-off that occurs with margin from anybody who had a long, from this point up and this point off. So it's not just necessarily ready and waiting orders, but also the momentum that comes with big sell cascades, liquidation cascades, etc. So I think that's very interesting. Also, if we go over to the Bitcoin, the dollar. So this one was Tether. This one's the dollar, so USD. And if we do the same thing and look at $100 increments, we can see on these exchanges, there's much less liquidity. There's much less demand sitting idly by and waiting for bids with about half the numbers. So 4,300 Bitcoin, you could push it all the way down to 26,300 total. Now, worth noting, this does not include Coinbase and its data. And that's probably one of the largest spot, USD exchanges in the world. So I wish it did include that. It does not appear to. So let's just say with them added to the mix, it's probably another example of, about 10,000 gets us down to the mid 26s, which is what we saw. So yeah, I mean, to me, that seems completely reasonable, everything across the board. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on it. Be sure to catch me on the streams, Sunday and Wednesday. This is the kind of stuff we'll cover, and we'll see what's coming next. All right. Stay safe out there, guys.